It's Thursday, October 31st, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's an honor, a privilege to speak to all of you on a daily basis. This does not exist without you, so thank you very much. And as always, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on any of this stuff. I want to get right into it today. Dow Jones down nearly 400 points. NASDAQ down over 500 points. 10-year bond yield, as I make this video, sitting at 4.28%. Why is that relevant? Well, it's relevant because this is what they use to base mortgage rates. And we are now looking at a 30-year mortgage fixed rate at over 7%. So it is going to continue to be very difficult for the average American to go out and buy a home. Gold down, hammer today, down around 40, 50 bucks. Silver down today. Bitcoin down today. Everything was down except the 10-year bond rate and oil. Now, I want to shift gears here a little bit. I was watching a video today on X, and this is, if this is true, which I don't know why anybody would make this up, but the linemen in North Carolina that are helping with the recovery out there, they're going on strike apparently because they have not been paid in 8 weeks. And somebody posted a video on X with one of these linemen just saying he's not going to work, this is it, unless he gets some money, but not getting paid in 8 weeks. You've got to ask yourself, who is holding this up? If this is true, if you know anything about this, please comment down below. Is this true? And if it is, why are the linemen, who are so important to the recovery of the residents of North Carolina, why are they not getting paid? And who is responsible for the linemen not getting paid? The hedge today, Fed's favorite inflation indicator, hotter than expected. Government handouts soar as savings slump. So we got core CPI printed hotter than expected in September. It came in at a positive 2.7 versus the 2.6 that was expected. Private wage growth unchanged, but government wage growth came in at 6.7%, down from 6.9%. People's savings, personal savings, tumbled by $49 billion in September. Let me repeat this. Personal savings tumbled by $49 billion in September. That is not a good sign. That is not representing a healthy economy when you see people's savings decreasing $49 billion in the month of September. Here's one today from CNBC. Inflation is cooling, yet many Americans are still living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, how is inflation cooling? How do we have this booming economy? How do we have growing GDP? How do we have a soft landing? How do we have, they tell us wages are going up. There's 8 million jobs out there. How is all this possible, yet 80% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck? And now living paycheck to paycheck is now the norm. This is normal. This is the norm. Higher prices are making it difficult to achieve middle class status. We are seeing the middle class decimated, the middle class shrinking. You have the haves, you have the have-nots. And why? Because it's costing literally more for anything. Necessities, your food, your utilities, your healthcare, gas, etc. This stuff is getting more and more expensive, and you have nothing left after you pay all the bills, pay for the necessities. You pay the rent, you pay the mortgage, you pay the rest of the necessities. There's nothing left. You have no savings. And this is why you have people that live in areas like this who probably don't even have $1,000 in their bank account. And I know people find that hard to believe, but welcome to 2024. You have people living in nice houses, driving nice cars. They don't even have $500 in the bank. That's a fact. Half this country does not have $500 saved up. So you have a choice here. You can work a lot more or keep doing what you're doing and live paycheck to paycheck. But, it's easy to say work more, take on the side hustles, work, work 8 jobs, whatever, work more hours. There's only 24 hours in a day. There's only so many jobs you can work. At some point, people just cannot stretch anymore. They cannot add another job. There's not enough hours in the day for people to work. And it's getting more and more difficult to make ends meet, to stretch it. It's just literally getting impossible because everything is going up and I don't see much coming down. And at the end of the day, after the bills are paid, the rent or the mortgage, the car payment, the health care, the phone bill, the food bill, there's nothing left. People are going negative. Another one from the Hedge today. Homes are still overpriced, unaffordable as Fed cut sparks mortgage rate melt up. It says here a few more cuts by the Fed and the average mortgage rate will hit an all-time high. We were told that once they begin cutting rates, we get this jumbo cut, 50 basis points, that, boy, that's going to just change everybody's life. Everybody just anticipated that things were going to get a lot better, that mortgage rates were going to come way down because of this 50 basis point cut that we got by the Fed at the last meeting. It didn't happen. It did not happen. We're seeing a choking off of affordability. So rates didn't come down. In fact, now they're going up. And, you know, home prices for the most part have just been kind of stagnant, although in many areas they are coming down. David Lamp at Metro Brokers, real estate company, I'm seeing a ton. He says, I'm seeing a ton of homes overpriced, and you're seeing a ton of price reductions. And I have to agree 100% because that's what I'm seeing when I'm looking in the Deep South. I'm seeing overpriced homes everywhere, but I'm seeing price reduction after price reduction after price reduction. But guess what? The homes are still overpriced. They were so overpriced to begin with that the price reductions don't even mean anything. These people the sellers are going to have to do many, many more price reductions or get real and do a real price reduction. And you got to think about this. If the average American cannot buy a house right now because of mortgage rates being at 7%, that already tells you that homes are overpriced because 7% is a normal rate. If you go, over the last, multiple decades and you look at the average rate, 7% is average. That's average. In fact, some people would say, if you were in the 80s when you were paying 16, 18%, people would have died to get a 7% mortgage rate. And so 7% is very average. What's not average is when you see homes doubling in price, in a year or two. That's not normal. That is not average. 7% average. A cookie cutter home for $500,000 is not average. And that's the problem. Things are overpriced. If homes were valued where they should be right now, people wouldn't be worrying or complaining about 7% mortgages. If a home that really is worth $250,000, it wasn't selling for $500,000 or $600,000 in some areas right now, it was selling for $250,000. Do you think 7% would turn people away? Absolutely not, because the price of the home is so much less. And so we're seeing a very overvalued market, and it's going to be the sellers who are going to have to cave. Otherwise, they're just not going to sell. Mishtalk.com. Phoenix leads the nation in evictions. 16 filings per 100 renter households. That is astonishing. And ask yourself this today as I make this video. Are you better off today, right now, October 31st, than you were 4 years ago? Just a question. It's just common sense. Are you better off? If you are, wonderful. God bless you. If you're not, you better get out and vote, I think. Apartment rents soared 35% from 2019. It says here, Texas and Nevada are also seeing soaring evictions. And I think Florida's seeing a lot of evictions too. People are going to get themselves into very, very big trouble here. It is really sad to see what's going on. And I just don't know how a family of 4, a family of 5, a family of 6, how they're even doing it. Starbucks CEO pledges to fundamentally change strategy as sales fall for third straight quarter. You know it's getting bad out there when their sales fall for 3 straight quarters. This is, again, you're seeing gold prices, even though gold was hammered today. Right now, I'm watching it, and it is starting to climb right back up, and it is going to blow past 2,800 without a doubt. Look, the writing is on the wall. Connect the dots. There's so much debt. The deficits are out of control. What's happening politically, geopolitically, what's happening with these wars, the uncertainty, the dollar, the BRICS, gold is cheap right now. Another thing I want to say to this article with Starbucks is I believe that they're calling back a lot of their white-collar workers back to the office. And we're going to see more of this now as things are getting critical for businesses cutting the fat, getting to the bottom line. To be productive, what are they going to do? They're going to keep calling workers back into the office, because now it is about survival. It is about the bottom line. It is about profits. It's about being innovative. It's about being a team. It's about optimizing. And the only way you can optimize a company is having people back in the office. Apple sales rise 6%. Companies seeing early iPhone 16 demand. Will you go buy one of these? I don't know, what are they, $1,500? I have no idea. The last time I bought a phone after my last phone broke, it's amazing the price of these things. But nobody really buys their phone outright. Most people just finance their phones. So they have the payment plan right there. Oh, this phone's going to cost you $35 a month. Plus, you got to make the phone bill, the payment for your usage. But they make it, seem so easy. Everybody's walking around with a $1,500 or $2,000 phone. They're paying $35 a month for the phone for I don't know how many years. But anyways, I mean, people literally can't even buy a phone now because they're so expensive. So they just go on the payment plan. So people will continue to finance these expensive phones and have big phone bills, big car bills, big rent bills. And life goes on, right? And this is, again, why nobody has any money saved up. Newsweek. I was watching some of the videos of this today. Mass looting breaks out in Los Angeles after Dodgers win World Series. I don't know where this game was played. If it was played in Los Angeles or New York. I not followed it one bit, one iota. I could care less. I'm just not into sports at all, ladies and gentlemen. They have sold out the American people. These organizations have absolutely slapped you in the face, sold you out. I don't give them a cent of my money or a second of my time. But this is relative, because what transpired after this game was the looting. Several stores, people running out with boxes and whatever they were stealing out of these stores. A lot of this took place on 8th and Broadway in Los Angeles. They lit a bus on fire. Rocks and bottles thrown at police. Could you imagine if the Dodgers lost? This is what happens when you win in Los Angeles. They're looting stores, burning buses, and throwing rocks and bottles at the police. And I watched one video. They were spray painting one of the buses. They're burning buses. It's unbelievable society today. It really is. And I bring this up again, and this is from Newsweek. I bring it up because these are the good times. Could you imagine what people are capable of doing when they get hungry, when they get desperate, when they get angry? These are people who are supposedly happy. Their team won the World Series, and they're burning half the city down, looting half the city because they won. What would they do? What would they have done if the Dodgers lost? I have no idea. What would they do if their government checks weren't coming in? What would they do if they didn't have any food? What would they do if they had no electricity? These are things you need to be asking yourself. Are you able to protect yourself? Are you living in the right, areas where you're safer? Are you out of the big cities? What would you do if the lights went out? What would you do to protect your family? Do you have a plan? Do you have a place to go? Do you have training? Do you have skills? It's unbelievable watching these videos. It's a huge wake-up call of how quickly things can happen and how violent people can become. The last article today, coming from CBN, and it was talking about the witches, Satanists, the warlocks who are trying to put spells and hexes and curses on Mr. T, and how it's not working. And they're saying it's almost like he has a shield. And I'm not here to convince you about God, and angels, and things like that, or even to get political and who to vote for. But this is another thing that I think we all have to be paying attention to, is the spiritual warfare that we are witnessing take place right now here in America. And why is it that these witches and Satanists continue to try and curse and put spells and use witchcraft against Mr. T? And how come it's not working? But why do they hate him so much? Why does the dark side, the evil, the Satanists, why do they hate Mr. T so much? You got to ask yourself that too. We're seeing so much spiritual warfare across the globe right now, and right here in America. Many of you are paying attention to this. This is something we've never really seen before. But to think about these groups and organizations coming against one man, these very evil, dark, sinister, demonic groups coming against one man. Why are they coming against Mr. T? What does he represent that they hate so much? I have to ask you that. Why are they not coming against Miss Harris, but why are they coming against Mr. T? These are very, very dark times, ladies and gentlemen. And unfortunately, even though we are seeing times right now that are very somewhat calm, there is so much evil taking place behind the scenes. You see what's happening in Hollywood right now, the music industry, the whole Diddy thing, just the amount of light that over the last couple of years that have been shed on so many people involved in so many horrible, horrific things. And it's all, coming to light now about, who's good, who's bad. Definitely spiritual warfare. So much happening now. And yet it's very peaceful here. It's calm. The weather, I mean, it's 78 degrees out, gorgeous. You would think that there's nothing wrong. But we have never seen a time like we've seen over the last year or two, where spiritual warfare is so obvious that you're seeing good versus evil. And it's going to accelerate. And just because I do believe Mr. T will win, don't fall for the utopia, this false sense of security that everything's going to be fine. I really don't believe that's even possible, based on just the amount of debt and deficits, based on the evil out there that is not going to go away. And look, you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. That's up to you. I would never sit here and tell you who to vote for or get political. But again, as I said earlier, is your life better now, or was it better 4 years ago? Why? Ask yourself why. Why are these dark forces putting curses or trying to put curses on this man and not Ms. Harris? It's questions I think everybody should be asking themselves. And who do you think is going to protect this country, get this country back, manufacturing, job creation, energy costs down? Who do you think will do a better job at that? One person did a pretty good job already doing that, and another for the last almost 4 years is said that she will do the same thing for the next 4 years. So if you're comfortable with that, then you know who to vote for. It's going to be a very, very interesting election. I think I'm going to leave it there today. Please comment down below on anything you want to talk about. I really do appreciate you taking the time and watching this channel. There's a lot of other choices and options out there, so I do appreciate that you take the time and spend 15, 20 minutes a day with me. I really do appreciate that, and I do appreciate the comments. Please keep the comments going. Probably the best comments of any site on YouTube, of any channel on YouTube. So many awoken people, awake people, intelligent people, spiritual people that have woken up so many other people and have made me think, my family think, my friends think, and people I don't know think because they're reading your comments. So you've woken up a lot of people. You've gotten a lot of people prepared because of your comments. So I really do appreciate that. And you've done a lot for me. It really made me think and made me prepare even more because of your comments. So anything you want to talk about, let us know what's happening in your areas. Let us know your thoughts on what 2025 is going to look like, how we're going to wrap down 2024. Let me know. Let me know what's happening, in your areas as far as the economy. Are you seeing layoffs? Do you know family members who've been laid off, struggling? Let us know. Are things wonderful like we're being told on television, or are things getting worse? So obviously somebody's at the door. I'm going to get it. Have a great day. Be safe out there. And as always, I look forward to speaking to each and every one of you. God bless.